Writer's block. Yes, just please go ahead and put the writer's block that you think you're having in this block right here. And we're not judging it, right? We're just setting it aside while we figure out what your story is trying to tell you. Hi, writers, welcome back. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Safia. I write under the pen name Safia Bishara, and I also help writers unblock their stories using intuition, energy, and a little bit of magic mixed with structure, because we really need a solid structure and foundation. It matters. It's the bone, the skeleton of the story. And the intuition is the flesh or the soul or the breath of the story that makes it so relatable to readers, right? And other writers also. So if this episode found you today, it's probably because you're staring at your opening scene and it feels a little bit flat, wrong, or just you didn't even start. You just find it impossible to start, right? Or you just, this video just popped up and you clicked because something in you knew that the beginning wasn't landing. Either way, you're right on time. So every writer gets stuck on the opening. And I've been stuck so many times. It carries so much pressure, right? Like, it's always set the tone and hook the reader and introduce the word and establish the conflict. And it's a lot, right? And it has to be done in the first page or two. So honestly, I think that most writers they're not sure about what their opening scene really is until they finish the book, right? So sometimes you just need a placeholder to get going, something that lets you start. And the other time, you've already written the entire draft, and now you're staring at the beginning thinking, okay, but what actually belongs here? And that's where intuition comes in, right? But sometimes, this little writer's block, it just makes you stop and wonder. And it's all because I find the culprit, it's the thinking mind, right? Like, I think we do the overthinking. And so that's why the thinking mind needs to take a tiny step back and let the deeper part of you, the real storyteller, in my opinion, take over. So if you outline, it's great. I love outlining. I outline so much. And if you pants, it's also great. My When my intuition comes in and tears down the outline apart, um, I I just follow it, right? So I have so many drafts of so many outlines that are just sitting in a corner that weren't used because the intuition kept on making the story better and better, and I kept on changing the outlines accordingly. So however you write, however you work, your method is not here. We're not here to discuss the method. It works. We're just here to find a new tool that you can use. So just in case you feel stuck, and in this case with the opening scene. So what we do here, what we always do, I don't know if you've already been here. If not, welcome again. So we just tune in into the energy of your story and my story. I just tune in and I pull an oracle card, and I then just, follow the sparks, anything that is shown. And then I'll do, the magic is also into doing a short intuitive writing session. I do it off camera. Basically, I just take like a notebook and a pen, and I do automatic writing, which is writing without stopping, writing continuously, and just making sure that as soon as the pen hits the page, you don't lift it again. You keep on writing, 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 anything that comes from the mind, trying to bypass that thinking mind until you find until some message, some idea, something comes either from your subconscious or from the story itself or from guides or muses, whatever you believe in. It's magical and it works. So let's start. And at the end, I'll also leave the card on screen for you so you can do your own writing. So for this opening scene, again, either you have one or you don't yet. We're just going to tune in and find a card for that. I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle card. Again, I just like it. I like the images. It's from Baron-Reid. And we're not using the guidebook at all, right? Because we're here to kick that intuition, the intuition muscle. It needs practice. to wake up and keep on giving great ideas, right? So that's what we're going to do here. Just tuning in. Let's set the mood. Card. So again, what clarity do they need for the, let's see, what clarity do they need? Emery is watching. What clarity do they need for the opposite? I need also for the opponent Seer. And this is the card that wants to talk to us, to speak to us today. So interesting. It's not one of the busy one. Gentle gardener. So already, like, you know, you look at the colors. I see the number 2 here. So I can tell you that maybe it starts in February, right? The second month, or the second of the month, right? The second season, anything that has to do with number 2. It's outside. It just you're just making it. It's again with it could be in a park. It could be somewhere like, you know, just a little prologue, for example, just something like about something that was in the past. Again, depending on the genre, you're right. It can work for anything, right? Like, you know, you can see here that there is a person, like, so it's either it could be a memory with with an ancestor, or some kind of for example, some kind of reminder, like the person is looking at the locket that they found that was left from their grandma. If you're writing fantasy, for example, it could be just the actual spirit coming in, and then you have eggs and shells. So again, like, it's better to start with, for the opening scene, it's better not, you know, don't start with a dream. If you're stuck not having a blank page, start with whatever. And then, but if you're not, then maybe you need to change it. If it starts with a dream or it starts in a car, then you have to change it so you find something that is not as usual and what people are already used to read. And it's a gentle gardener. It could be also in a garden where something is happening literally in the garden, in the trees. Like, it could be 3 friends that are meeting up, and one of them is missing. One of them just is one of them. Oh, I see a pet here. So they could be meeting up for brunch. Maybe somebody brings their pet. Maybe the pet gets lost. Maybe it could be anything that is clear, that is outside, and something to do with the weather also. Again, do not start with the weather, the description of the weather. I'm just saying that something happens later that could be used about something happening, about, you know, they're waiting for their grandmother or for their friend who've been stuck somewhere and they're not coming back. And this could also go back to the roots, right? Like, you know, the roots of the of the of the family. Could be that they're going back to a farm, going back to a place where a plantation, going back to a place where they didn't want to come, or at least one of them didn't want to come. So they all go back to their roots, right? Like, you know, they have to meet for family reunion, or for, you know, for sad for a sad event. You know, it could be a funeral. And so it could be that. I'm also using the Light Seer tarot, and I'm just going to see, you know, this is in the tarot, you have the 4 how do you say, the suits. So wands, swords, pentacles, and which one is missing? The cups, right? So it could be telling us what is missing in your opening scene. Is it emotions? It is more action, more description of the setting. So yes, so you have the Six of Pentacles, right? I'm not really a tarot reader, so I cannot explain to you the definition of Six of Pentacles. It's all about the intuition. I was just, depending on the question I asked specifically about what suit do we get, so what do we need more. So you got the Pentacles. The Pentacles is the earth suit, and it's more about the material things. So what is missing could be either description about their state, like if they have if they are if they have belongings, or in this case maybe they don't, maybe they're losing everything at the beginning. You just come in, the bank is taking everything, right? Like, you know, any material thing, any money, just the description of their state of mind, what they look like, right? Like, you know, what they're wearing, just to add a little bit of description, character description, without stating it, right? Like without saying they lost everything, right? Like, you know, just showing it with the material thing that they have or don't, and and their situation, right? So this is just an ideas, right? Like, you know, that popped in when I tuned in to your story and mine and the opening scene. So I'll just go to do the next part, which is the automatic writing. So again, it's free writing, flow writing. We'll see what comes through. I'll just pause the video here and I'll come back to read what I get. But again, it's not supposed to be pretty because it's automatic writing, it's intuitive, and you're not raising the pen, so you might be repeating sentences, repeating words, and it's all fine, as long as you know. And then when I read it, you can just get like some nuggets, you know, you can get a thread that you can follow. So we're just going to do that, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. So again, this one was a little bit different from the others. It started like as a counsel or advice. Anyways, I'll just read it, and then please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and sometimes just one word that opens the entire story. So this is what it says. The opening scene, or the dreadful opening scene. Sometimes we give it so much importance that we forget about the rest. It's like inviting people to dinner or lunch or brunch and only wiping and polishing that first spoon. I'd love to be that first guest that gets it, because the others, which they'll get some spoon to use. How polished is it? So one advice, if you're really stuck, describe the picture you got. There are plants, it's green, the eggs are at the eggs, and then the eggs will take you to that brunch you just invited people, and you think of chickens and ostriches. Why not? This is so random, but again, you can see that one shell is broken, so that could be that one of the friends meeting together heard bad news, or that their spirit team or guidance left them, or they lost the job they wanted, or that there was robbery at their farm. The spot on the spirit of the grandmother is sad. So is this something to do with the person going to visit their birthplace? They finally found where their family was, and they came and found nothing. The building has been destroyed, and with all the proof that their family belongs to a new place. But what am I to say? What can I say about the opening scene? It's about a house or the lack of housing. It's about the spring or the end of winter, where the world is stopped to be peaceful, but there is a presence that predicts or foreshadows that all is not as tranquil as it seems. It could be the lady protagonist overseeing her life, but she's already passed. So the beginning is is so she wanted to see it, is how she wanted to see the scene. They play music. It could be at an orchestra or a rehearsal, and the professor is having a bad day, which is unusual. What does he have to hide? A secret. A secret. Yeah. Or on a secret, or that the person sees their friend with lots of cash in their bags and they're following someone because they are forced to do so as punishment or as payment for a debt, and they are stuck with them in the countryside, or they are surrounded by nothingness and only a tree and 3 eggs. So each egg has a secret. What will it be? The only beautiful thing is that after writing for a few minutes, uh, well, you are writing, and now let the intuition do what it does best, give you the answer when you least expect it. Okay. It was a little bit different this time, but and again, it's intuitive writing, automatic writing. So sometimes I just wrote whatever came to mind, but I'm sure that if left alone, something will pop up, especially if you put it together with your story, right? Or where you're at, or as they said, if you're just starting, start by describing, right? Like, the cards. I leave the card at the end, so you can do your own intuitive writing. And if this, yes, when you do your own intuitive writing, you can start with my story truly begins the moment or when, and see what unfolds. And if this opens something for you, if you suddenly feel a little spark, a direction, a shift, please let me know in the comments. I love seeing where your intuition takes you or how the muscle is building up. So please give this tool a try. Uh, it's fantastic. And when you start really using it more and more, you'll see all the magic that unfolds in your writing. So please, if you like the video, hit that like button and subscribe so the series and this channel can reach more writers who needs a nudge back into their stories. And remember, you're never blocked, right? So we leave it here. We're not taking it back, right? We're leaving it right here. So you're never blocked. You're just invited to listen deeper, right? So I'll see you for the next one.